Hey guys, welcome to Panera Bread Studio P. Reading through the Gospels in 40 days, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We're on Luke 20, verse 9. We've actually went through the first subheading, subtext. So the only thing between us and the listener is the Bible, and that's all we should be focused on. Basically is I can just read the words and you guys will interpret what God has for you in store for you in your lives and your as Christians. Any non-Christians, you'll give an opportunity to come to Christ at the end of the message, and we just thank you for coming alongside. So, Luke chapter 20, verse 9. He went to tell the people this parable. A man planted a vineyard, rented it to some farmers, and went away for some time. At harvest time, he sent his servant to the tenants so that they would give him some of the fruit of the vineyard. But the tenants beat him up and sent him away empty-handed. He sent another servant, but that one was also they beat and treated shamefully and sent him away empty-handed. He sent a third servant, they wounded him and threw him out. The owner of the vineyard, "What shall I do? I will send my son, whom I love. Perhaps they will respect him." Luke 20, verse 14. But when the tenants saw him, they talked the matter over. "This is the heir," they said. "Let's kill him, and inherit will be ours." So they threw him out to the vineyard and killed him. When the owner of the vineyard, what will the owner of the vineyard do to them? He will come and those who tenants and give the vineyard to others. When the people heard this, they said, "May it never be." Jesus looked directly at them and asked them, "Then what is the meaning of what is written? The stone the builders rejected has become the capstone. Everyone who falls on the stone will be broken to pieces, but he whom on it falls will be crushed." The teachers of the law and the chief priests looked for a way to arrest him immediately, because he knew that he had spoken this parable against them, but they were afraid, and the people paying taxes to Caesar. "Keep a close watch on him." They sent spies who pretended to be honest. They hoped to catch Jesus in something he said, so that they might hand him over to the power and authority of the governor. So the spies questioned him. "Teacher, we know that you speak and teach what is right, and that you do not show any partiality, but teach the way of God in accordance to the truth. Is it right for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not?" He saw their duplicity and said to them, "Show me a denarius. Whose portrait and inscription are on it?" "Caesar's," they replied. He said to them, "Then give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and give to God what is God's." Then they were unable to trap him in what he had said to them in public, and astonished by his answer, they became silent. The resurrection and the marriage. Some of the Sadducees, who say there is no resurrection, came to Jesus with a question. "Teacher," they said, "Moses wrote for us that a man's brother dies and leaves a wife, but no children. The man must marry the widow and must have children for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers. The first one married a woman and died childless. The second one and then the third one married her, and in the same way they 7 died, leaving no children. Finally, to the woman died too. Now then, at the resurrection, whose wife will she be, since the 7 were married to her?" Jesus replied, "The people of this age are given in marriage, but those who are considered worthy of taking part in the age and in the resurrection from the dead will never marry nor be given in marriage, and they can no longer die, for they are like the angels. They are God's children, since the children of the resurrection. But in accordance to the bush, even Moses showed that the dead rise, and he called the Lord the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but he is the God of the living. For to him all are alive. Some of the teachers in the law responded, "Well said, teacher," and no one dared to ask him any more questions. "Whose son is the Christ?" Then Jesus said to them, "How is it that you say that Christ is the son of David? David himself declares in the book of Psalms, 'The Lord has said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet.' David calls him Lord. How can he be called his son?" While all the people were listening, Jesus said to his disciples, "Beware of the teachers of the law. They are like walk around in flowing robes and love to be greeted in the marketplaces and have the most important seats in the synagogue and in the place of honor at the banquets. They devour widows' houses, and for a show much lengthy prayer, such men will be punished most severely." A widow's offering. We're on 21 now, Luke 21 verse 1. As he looked up, Jesus saw the rich put their gifts into the temple treasury. He also saw a poor woman put in 2 very small copper coins. "I tell you the truth," he said, "this woman has put in more than all the others. All these people gave out of their own wealth, but she gave out of her poverty, put in all she had and had to live on." Verse 21:5. Some of the disciples were remarking about how the temple was adorned with beautiful stones and with gifts duplicated to God. But Jesus said, "As for what you see here, the time will come when not one stone will be left on another. Every one of them will be thrown down." "Teacher," they replied, "when will these things happen? And what will be the sign that they are about to take place?" He replied, "Watch out that you may not be deceived, for many will come in my name claiming I am he, and the time is near. Do not follow them. When he hears of wars and revolutions, do not be frightened. These things must happen first, but the end has not yet come away." Then he said to them, "Nations will rise against nations, and kingdoms against kingdoms. There will be great earthquakes, famines, and pestilence in the various places, and fearful events and great signs from heaven. But before all this, they will lay hands on you and persecute you. They will deliver you to the synagogues and prisons, and you will be brought before kings and governors, and all on account of my name. This will be the result in the witnessing to them. But make up your mind not to worry beforehand how you will defend yourselves. For I will give you the words and the wisdom that none of your adversaries will be able to resist or contradict. You will be betrayed even by parents, brothers, relatives, and friends, and they will put you to some of you to death. All men will hate you because of me, but not a hair on your head will perish. By standing firm when you will gain life. When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, you will know that the desolation is near. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Those who are in the city get out, and those who are in the country not enter the city. For this is the time of punishment and fulfillment of all that has been written. How dreadful it will be those days for a pregnant woman or nursing mothers. There will be great distress in the land and wrath against this people. They will fall by the sword and will be taken as prisoners to the nations. Jerusalem will be trampled on by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. So that's about it for today. We're going to pick up on chapter 21, and we'll pick up on verse 27. Thanks for watching.